California.
You alone?
Inglewood, California.
Testing 1 2. You hear me? Mic check 1 2.
Yeah. How everybody doing today? We up in Inglewood, California. This is the Green Believer Show. Sometime we get an opportunity to sit with good people out of the city. And you know, Green Believers is all about cannabis. Everything you want to know about cannabis, we are here to talk about cannabis. But in the process, the Green Believers talk about crime stories. Because the crime stories is something great for our neighborhood. And if you don't tell the stories, someone else is going to continue to tell misleading stories like they've been doing for the last couple of years. So we in South Central LA. I got my team from the Green Believers with me. I got the team from Whitey's Enterprise here. Once again, we trying to dominate the city of Los Angeles. We in the restaurant industry right now, just popping, getting ready to pop off. And our life is kind of different from most people because we have grown over the years. And each one of us have different stories from the 80s. Yes, I can really say that we have different stories from the 80s. And all of them is great. There's nothing in between greatness. And it's hard to copy what we are doing today. So we have put in our due diligence in finding a way to reach our goals. Everybody have a different challenge. And I have so many different challenges, it's unbelievable. I find myself walking up a path in this neighborhood and bringing understanding, compassion, and help. And when you're doing all these things to try to make sure that the city is receiving the things that they need, then you find yourself smiling a little bit when you go out and reach out for the homeless and you help them. And then you turn around and make sure that enough people have something to eat, and you be overwhelmed. And when you walk in the neighborhood and the older people have this notion to say, whatever you did in the past, you almost corrected it, but you got to do a little bit more. And all you could do is smile saying, thanks for the challenge. Because you know this is the game, the chance of life. And all of us need a chance to do something over and put a new stamp on our name. And the positions that we take sometimes is overwhelming. And the people who try to live up to expectations sometimes drown. But here we are again in Inglewood. And I'm from the Green Believers. I do technical assistance. I do social equity. And it's a whole lot of you guys need license. And you still got to come and see me. I'm at 3224 South Central Avenue or 3320 South Central Avenue. And the Green Believers is headquartered there at Cheryl Branch. So when you find yourself needing DCR and DCR send you guys our way, don't hesitate, not 1 second. Just come by and we got you. There's no doubt about it in my mind, we have you. So today I'm going to welcome some of my people. Tiffany Dixon, I'm going to welcome her.
Hello.
Ira Tillman, I'm going to welcome him.
It's a pleasure to be here today, and man, you got some heavy hitters here, and I can't wait for the conversation to get started.
Okay. And most definitely, I'm going to welcome John Boy, because through our lifetime, we've been through a hell of a journey. So welcome here, John Boy.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. So now, I'm going to just go at it now. You know, I already welcomed Tiffany, and me and her been around the corner a few times. I done seen her get married several different times, and I done got accused of just looking at her and said she was my wife, and I'm like, nah, it couldn't be. I just been knowing her all my life. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Whitney Houston, hairdresser.
Hello.
So, here go
Hi
Tiffany.
there. How are you? Thank you for welcoming me on your show. I've been trying to get out and get into accelerated radio and find out exactly what you guys are doing over here. And this is my first time being around this group of people in a long time. We all have a story to tell, and I'm just thankful that you thought about me enough to just bring me out so that we could just bring up the conversations about, we do all have a story to tell. I'm thankful for all the journeys. I have no regrets.
Well,
and that's, one thing for sure. to clear the air, this is like my brother right here. We've been knowing each other for a very long time. So I do understand that this world is generating off of social media, and that's what he's into now. And he's helping build platforms for himself as well as other people. But I want to remind people that what I do know about him is before any of this social media, Facebook, Instagram, anything that we're dealing with digitally now, this man had the marketing and branding skills in the 80s then, because if you guys remember, not only back then was he able to have people, a community of people, or lead a community of people, there was also a brand then, and there was no Instagram. It was just by respect. And I'll leave it right there. I'll leave it right there. But yeah, so I'm Tiffany Dixon. I'm a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist in the business for over 25 years. I've touched some of the world's most popular people. As I don't like to be called a celebrity because, you know, I'm just humble in my stance. I'm a professional. I'm good at what I do. I'll say that. I'm a star stylist. I'll say that. And I was blessed to work with Whitney Houston the last 7 years of her life. And I got a chance to, like most clients that I have, find out who the woman she was, opposed to the music of the 19 accolades that we all bullet point know. You know, the dress, Bobby Brown, the drugs, you know, whatever, Mariah Carey, just the 17 things that you guys already know. There's more to it. There's more to the story. There's more magic to the woman she was. And I got a chance to meet that lady. So I'm in the process of writing my story. I'm in the process of telling my story and bringing it, hopefully, to a larger screen. I was just on Lifetime on February the 6th to tell part of the story of, you know, or being able to tell the part of the story or how I'm related to the part of the story, because if no one knows, unfortunately, I found Whitney in the bathroom, and that was my friend. So for me to come out and just, you know, capitalize or monetize off of her name in any kind of way was not my intent in any kind of way. So here we are 10 years later. I've been through, you know, post-traumatic stress syndrome. I've been through depression. I've been through, I mean, you name it. You find your friend there. I don't care who it is. I don't care what their name is. It doesn't matter. You know, that it's hard to process. But I've processed well. I'll say that to say that now, next year, 10 years, her tribute to her demise, I will tell a tribute of the magic of her soul. I was blessed to tell the story. I feel blessed to tell the story and anointed to just bring a better light to the woman she was opposed to what she did. Because the drugs is what she did. That wasn't who she was. You know, the music is what she did. It still wasn't who she was. So I got to meet her, and I'm glad that I did, because I got a 7-star journey for the last 7 years of her life. It was like a 7-year blessing.
Yeah.
So she left me with an amazing story, and I'm better. I'm physically, spiritually better to be able to tell a better story. So you can check out Lifetime. Check me out on Bobby Christina. What is it? Whitney Houston, Bobby Christina. I Want to Dance with Somebody. And it'll tell you a little bit of the story, and you'll get a better idea of what's to come, I'll say.
That's
you know?
good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
But, you know, a whole lot of people, they say, Whitey, what are you doing? And I tell them I'm not doing anything. I'm just playing the game. The greatest show wins.
That
And you
part.
got to remember that.
That part.
So the challenge that you're at right now,
Yes.
you just don't want to do it yet. And you got to challenge yourself now to dig a little deeper and find it in yourself to grab you another team and put them together and tell that other story that will make magic to the screen.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And it took a process. It's been a process for me to be able to just come and just talk to you guys with such strength. You know what I'm saying? Without having to, I've been having to disband certain things, and disband things about her death. You know what I mean? And things about what happened that day, and you know what I mean. I have told the story. I've told my truth. I'll continue to tell my truth about the story, and I've had to go. The fan base is really cruel. They can be cruel, but I'm stronger. So, like I said, I'm able to talk about it more.
That means you're on to something. Anytime you have detractors, that means you're climbing a certain part of that hill.
Right. So I've had to just, go back and say, hey, the truth is what it is. Right. The truth is what it is.
So, let me say this right here.
Okay.
When I came home, one of my guys said, "You seen Tiff?" I said, "Nah, I haven't seen Tiff." I said, "But Tiff is a big girl. She can handle herself because she done been through so much. I've been knowing her since she was like 17. And through those years, it made me understand who she was and what was she capable of doing." So sometimes somebody say, "Why you talk to Tiff?" I said, "I talk because a whole lot of people is making things up that they don't know nothing about."
Exactly.
So your lifestyle is your lifestyle, and always straighten it out so everybody could understand that you was there for another reason.
Exactly.
A tender friendship that glided you for years and years. When no one knew who Tiffany was, Whitney Houston picked up the phone and said, "Hey, I need you."
Sure
you
did.
didn't call Whitney and say, "I need you, Whitney." She called you, as vice versa.
She sure
and
did.
when it's vice versa like that, Tiff, you're supposed to take those stories, compound them, and then put them out piece by piece so they can understand who the real Whitney Houston was.
Absolutely.
And who Tiffany Dixon is.
Absolutely.
Right today. And she always been the same strong person, and I'm sitting on the side of her telling her, "Go for it."
Yeah. So, it's like you said, it's unfortunate that she passed, her daughter passed the same way. The young guy that found her daughter, he passed in the bathroom, and then the boyfriend passed just this past year, like New Year's Eve. So all 4 of them are gone. You know what I mean? So all 4 people are gone. So, it becomes kind of eerie, you know what I mean, about what has really transpired, what has really happened. I didn't really want to become a forensic scientist because I was so hurt.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And as I've gotten stronger, you listen to the stories and you listen to what people are saying, and then you kind of calculate where you've been with it and what you know. And like you said, let your truth be your truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm doing. I'm strong enough now, like you said. People will come at you left, and I have to be able to understand what's happening so that I don't lash at them. It's not a lash because that's emotion, and I'm not working from emotion. I'm working from passion to do with the story, to tell you the truth about what happened.
Okay, that sounds
and
good.
My truth.
So now, Tip, I got to go away from you for a second.
Okay.
Ira,
Yes.
It's been a journey. We've been on the journey together. And as this journey is going on, you taking new steps. Tyler Perry want to holler at you. He want to see what's really going on. Mm-hmm. And here I am sitting here laughing about it because I have no idea what's really going on. But I know you got this old smile on your face saying, "Whitey, I done met another hurdle." And it's the books that I'm writing and the stories I'm telling is captivating other people.
Exactly.
And now the conversations we've been having, you just looking at me how about the next move. I'm telling you, the next 10 moves is getting ready to put down because we in the game now.
Exactly.
So there's no way they can stop you from doing what you're doing. And you got a new book. What is it?
Well, I have of course, one I'm working on, which is the last time I was on your show, I explained to you that I was doing the biography of Hugh Jackson, the NFL coach, coach of the Raiders and coach of the Cleveland Browns. And it's since then the story's evolved into social activism, Black Lives Matter, and I want to say the current situation in the NFL where blacks aren't being considered for certain jobs. You realize in the last 2 years they had 8 coaching openings last year and another 6 this year, and they hired one black, one African American for the Houston Texans, and he was never pre-qualified as a offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. He's been in the league a while. He's been around NFL programs a while, but that tells me that, for lack of a better phrase, they found somebody safe for that organization. In other words, they're going to delegate. He's going to delegate offense and defense and special teams to 3 different coaches and kind of be the face of the franchise, the black face that America was clamoring for. They kind of quelled the crowd. That's what the NFL does. And writing Hugh Jackson's story made me realize this has been going on over 100 years. Over 101 years of the NFL, they've tightly controlled the influence of the African American in how they run their business. They couldn't help but get past the athleticism, and of course we broke through in 1949. The first African American to play football in the NFL was 1949. So then that started, of course, an avalanche and the sea change of color in the NFL. During this writing of Hugh Jackson's story, it's ridiculously simple just to lay it out and see that they have a policy, and it has to be between the 31 owners. Now, there's 32 football teams, but there's only 31 owners, and that's because the Green Bay Packers is owned
by the public.
Yeah. It has to be a collusive policy that we're going to let African Americans or minorities just get to or raise to a certain level and control that from that point on. And that's where head coaching starts. Head coaching is the bottom of that rung. Team presidents, general managers, all that is strictly controlled racially. And it was like a V8 moment when I laid it all out and saw the evidence. I said, this has to be something that's in policy starting back in 1920, when the original 8 teams got together. But you got to have proof of that. Well, the proof is in the pudding. When you lay it all out, it's right there. You have to. This has to be a policy, and it has to be something discussed amongst 31. And without that hire in Texas this year, we would have had 14 head coaching jobs come open in the last 2 years, and no blacks being considered for the head coaching job.
I hear you, brother. Now,
go ahead.
I'm gonna try this for you. I did a little research, not that much, because I don't do that. Sometimes they get me off balance when I try to figure out what research is and what hustling is and what manipulating the words mean. But at the end of the day, it's $1.9 trillion in the NFL. We're talking about $1.9 trillion amongst 32 owners. So you got to understand, most of the people in Milwaukee is white.
Right.
So they own the football league.
Right.
So the question is, would you let a black man run your organization? No.
No.
Because it's $1.some trillion.
Right.
So here we are, we sitting back and we arguing the point, but we don't have no skin in the game. Only thing we got in the game is the talent. And the talent pool that we use, if you pay attention, each year they parade the dudes in a camp, just like the old slaves.
Right.
Put them in short pants and put them on a scale and see what they was. This is the same thing happened in Washington years ago.
Right.
So we're in the same situation. We're just trying to fool ourselves thinking that we're not. So I sit back and explain to you on a regular basis. When we talk about trillions of dollars, there's no way in the world that white America going to surrender this to black America, so black America can look good with the talents that they use, with the tools that they have, because they already can manipulate anything they want to. And if they put their hands on the right scale, what happens is they get championships, like the coach in Pittsburgh came in, got 2 championships. So you got to understand, being black is great. It's hard to be us, because we are against it, and everybody try to put their foot on our necks. Like the man Genghis Khan told him in China when he took it over. He said, I took your guys' foot off my neck. Now, if we happen to come together as a whole, we could take these people's foot off our necks, and we make them buy a couple football teams where we would be in the game. So if we're talking about trillions of dollars, and at the end of the day, they're going to say that they're fair. But if they was fair, Dak Prescott would be getting $50 million.
Yeah.
So there's no fairness in the NFL. So when you write the book, please put it out so you can understand. There's no fairness in the NFL.
That was a good one. That's
okay,
real.
I got you, baby.
That's real.
I sure will. And I'm on the downhill slope of the story. Should be finished next month, maybe the beginning of April. But it's going to be eye-opening, and it's going to be a conversation piece. And I already have Miss McCoy, Jamie McCoy, who is back east in Florida, and she's associate and of Tyler Perry. They're interested in the story already as a movie. And Donnie over at Fox. He has a stake in the story because him and Hugh Jackson went to the same high school together, and he loves the story. And I told you, I think last week, I told you his true story is Boys in the Hood meets New Jack City meets Remember the Titans. If you put all three of those movies together, that's Hugh Jackson's true story. Without adding any type of lines or conversation, that's what his story is all about, and it's true.
Well, I'm gonna say this. You're gonna start laughing. You know, Hugh come around the corner from my house on 53rd, and as I think about all of them, I just smile and said, "Look at the opportunities that Hugh's got just for being black." Because Walsh and all of them picked him up, not knowing what they was gonna get out of him.
Right.
And he became a very great football coach for real. And if he was white, he'd still be in the league as a head coach.
Exactly.
So Hugh Talon's really talked for himself. And sometimes we have these situations that they're not going to judge us on our color. They're going to judge us by what they think we're not supposed to do.
Right.
And we're not supposed to reach the top. We're supposed to stay at the bottom. So that's how this life goes. So John Boy.
Yes, sir.
Man, it's been a while.
Yes.
I know I left you 100 years ago. And, I left you and you guys were still on the streets. And when I came back home, you guys was locked away.
Yes.
And when I went back in, you wrote the Rolling 80s. What can I say? The Rolling 80s. Boy. We've been through a whole lot together.
Yes.
We seen the same mud. We seen the same people.
Yep.
We seen the same wars. We seen the same polices.
Absolutely.
And here today, we're talking about the challenge at hand.
Yes.
The challenge at hand is reaching back to the top. And when we reach to the top, everything's going to be just fine. So, John Boy, give me a little bit about what we went through this weekend to clarify that we understand that LA ain't this one man. It's a bunch of us who made everything great in the game.
Absolutely, sure. Thank you
Welcome.
for inviting me. This Sunday we did get together along with you and some of the other kingpins from LA. Came together to tell their story for about an hour and a half each.
Yeah.
And we had 5 of the top drug dealers from LA to actually was able to spill their emotions and also to share their story like unlike anyone else ever done before. And I think I asked some great questions, for people to go back and think and reminisce. What were you like as a child?
I need some names, man. I need some names.
Not yet. Hold up. We at work right now. Hold up.
Yeah, but trust me, while he was there, he knows I got some hitters and got some more hitters this Sunday. And one of the things I want to go back and so I remember about 7 years ago when Freeway Rick was released and he and I got together, he called me to meet him to talk to some producers up in Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there talking and they were interested in this story. And Rick said, John Boy got a story too. He said, when I was selling drugs, I didn't buy the Rolex watches and Ferraris and Mercedes-Benz and houses. I was low key. And I'm telling the producer, I said, listen, I said, that's what people want to see if you're going to do a movie. I said, they heard about your story, Rick, about the CIA and Maxine Waters, and that's good. And I think if you ever did your movie, people would see it. I said, but you have to think about all the other drug dealers that were multimillionaires that helped put LA on the map. It wasn't never one man or one woman. It was plenty of us, you know. And he agreed. And in his last documentary he did on the show with Netflix called Crack, he mentioned, he said, you know, there's many of my friends were millionaires too, you know. So he mentioned that, and I was proud of him saying that, because that's the first time I think he made acknowledgement that there was others. But what we did Sunday was amazing. I can't wait for it to come together. Ice-T is involved, and you know, he been really working with me, which I appreciate as a friend. You know, when we did the 2 years ago, I did a Rolling 80 party.
Yeah.
You know, and I honor you and little Tommy. And Ice-T flew in. And he told everybody, listen, if it wasn't for John Boy, I wouldn't be here. I don't fucking do parties and shit like that, you know. So I appreciated him, you know, coming in to sponsor and host a party, and also get behind this project to take it and allow it the platform that we really need, so to be either a movie or a television series. You know, they talk about Snowfall, which is good, and Power is good, that's fine. But when we do this story,
The real story.
the real story with the real people, with, you know,
Real
with the real money and real, you know, everything was real. Nothing is made up. We're not playing Hollywood.
Yeah, don't forget about the Jury Boys, though, the Diamond Boys.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I was at your party. I was at your party, and they was handing me the keys like I was a valet parker. You know what I'm saying? I didn't appreciate that.
Oh,
I didn't have no platform on the stage. You know,
yeah.
We're gonna be all right.
Yeah, because when we tell the story, there are many stories. It wasn't just a drug story. There was the drug story, water story, the jewelry story, you know, bank robbers and jackers, and there's a whole lot of stories that took place in the 80s. Yeah. And we never told a story like this about the 80s in LA, and we were the hub. Everybody came to us about drugs. We sold drugs to all the states nationwide. We was it.
Yeah, we was it.
we set the tone.
So, you know, hey,
Absolutely.
Hey, Ira, I don't know Rick. You know, let's just be blank. I don't know Rick. I don't know Bo. And I explained that to all of them on a regular basis. I don't know the dudes. I never been around the dudes. They never been around me.
Right.
I don't know Big U.
Right.
But I know Big U.
Right.
I know him as my little homeboy's nephew.
Right.
So that's the way I know Big U. He wasn't in the 80s.
I got
you. Know, he wasn't. I was only home for a brief moment in the 90s.
Right.
So when I look at everybody and they start telling these stories just get blew out of proportion. But it's their story, and they have the right to tell these stories.
Right.
Because everybody is a storyteller. And when you have storytellers, people want to hear about the rolling 80s.
Right.
I come out the 70s. I'm a heroin boy. Moved up to a water boy, then moved up to a coke boy. And I think I did a damn good job.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know. And when I look at John Boy, we smile. I like John Boy. We never, in our era, got anything on consignment. We worked from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, I started with $300. My mom rent money. I started rent money.
Yeah, he went.
Real
Yeah.
time.
Came down and brought a track.
Yeah,
It didn't look back.
yeah, no, it didn't look back.
So I'm going to challenge you a little bit, because here we are talking about the rolling 80s, and last time you wrote a great book, and this time
Thank you.
when you putting this book together, you putting it on different facts. The content you done received over a couple of weeks is different contents. and it's gonna be talking about Black Dave. It's gonna be talking about Harry O. They're gonna be talking about Young Tommy. It's gonna talk about Freeway Rick. It's gonna talk about Bo Bennett. It's gonna talk about Renee McGowan. It's gonna talk about Dirt Red. It's gonna talk about all these dudes that I know, Benzo Al, White Boy Lester. But there's a whole lot of people don't even know who these names is.
Correct.
Right.
Because I can sit back here and talk about them all day. I can
Yes.
talk about the boys in Pasadena, Ray,
Yep.
and Al, and all those other fellas.
Ray trying to buy my house.
Yeah, so we could talk about the Black Cookies. We could
Yeah,
talk about all
absolutely.
these guys. We could talk about
Black
the Black
Tone.
Commies.
Yeah.
We could talk
Look,
about Tone
yes.
Tone over there on
Tone,
104.
yeah,
We could
correct.
talk about Cadillac Willie, the boss of all bosses
Yep.
in the Cadillac
Cadillac,
Willie.
yep.
So we could talk about all of these dudes that other people have no idea who
Absolutely.
they are.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I'm sitting here and I try to bring it to everybody conscious that when you start talking about the 80s and you don't know these players, just move to the side. There's a little kid named Sam come off 105th and Butlong. He came off the east side, and he did his job, and a whole lot of people didn't know who Sam was. It was Sammy and Kenny, and they did their job. They did a great job. And it was girls like Dean, Yaya,
Yep.
April,
That's
you know,
right.
Menzel.
Yeah, yeah.
Menzel
Oh,
got-
who? Pasadena.
yeah.
What?
Menzel got
That was
shot
my
in the
girl.
head. She got
Yeah,
shot in the
yeah.
head because she didn't know how to leave.
Yeah, correct.
So, in
because they
other
told her
words,
to leave.
yes.
That's right. When she bought a Mercedes, she said, "John Boy, I want some sheepskin like yours."
Yes.
So I took her to get put sheepskin in a Mercedes.
So
yes.
here we are again. We talking about the dudes of the 80s. We talking about Daft. Daft is
Yes.
a player
That's
who
right.
was in his house selling crack, but he was selling seams of cocaine. Whole lot of people don't even know that.
He started with
You know.
selling weed.
Yes.
I bought pounds of weeds for him.
Yeah,
he was the
over
weed
there on
guy.
Third Avenue.
Yeah, sure. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
yeah, he was
we-
the pound. He was the weed guy.
So when we start talking about these conversations, John Boy,
Yes.
we got to give the people of LA their props. Because there
Absolutely.
ain't one dude in LA was big enough to run LA.
No.
It's true, I was a big boy, and I had so many different wars. But the wars just was wars in the business at hand. But when I looked at the rest of the homies, I never said no to any one of them. I always gave them a helping hand. So when we sit back and look at it, we say, where our next move? Our next move is for you to come up with another story so I can hear it, so I can tell it, so I can tell the rest of the people and stamp it like that's how the 80s went.
No, absolutely. And what I want to do, Whitey, to add to that, is that everyone that's sitting down with me to tell their true story, their truth, once we get picked up by a major studio, I'm going to sit down with everyone to write their story and put it in one book. It's going to be one book.
It can't fit.
No, but this the key. We're gonna
like
do
a
multiple
coffee table
copies.
lookbook.
Yes, we're gonna do multiple books, but we're gonna do the one book where everybody gonna put a short story in there to tease them,
There you go.
and then the proceeds gonna be divided equally by everyone's story that's in their book. And those that's no longer with us, that have deceased, we're gonna take their story and we're gonna send their money to their kids and grandkids.
Do you see me smiling at you?
That's nice.
I didn't even say nothing about the root.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
crazy.
What?
I didn't even say nothing about the root.
Me, look, me what?
Look.
Fuck, I sold in my Porsche.
Hey, I didn't say nothing about the root, right? Man, I didn't say nothing about the
That
Jack.
little, that my boy.
I ain't saying nothing about David Child. I ain't saying nothing.
Correct.
It's so many people that we can talk
Man,
about.
yes,
But I
and
told,
Neville King and,
I told
you
my
know.
dudes like this. I ain't say nothing about my consulate E.T. And everybody say, who is E.T.? I said, the greatest cook who ever brought it in the states of California. Him and Charlie Lloyd, the first ones who came out cooking rocks. These were these dudes. I ain't say nothing about Skippy. You know?
Correct.
There's a whole lot of cats that I ain't said nothing about.
No, and Poochie.
You know? No, I ain't said nothing about them. But here we are. We know the real stories behind
Yes.
the stories.
Yes.
So sometimes people put themselves on a platform that they need to take themselves off of because they was not on center stage because they was on the porch in the 80s because they didn't come on these streets
Sorry.
where we was because it was against the rules of playing the game. They had no power in. So this is
And
the
why,
life
yeah,
that we
yeah.
live.
And why do we remember that when I had my spot on Victoria in Hyde Park, you was one block around me by the liquor store, had the whole building. What? Am I telling the truth?
Yes, sir. That's when it was popping.
What?
It was being served.
What?
The
You
game
had
was-
the
the
Whitey,
game was the
Whitey
game.
Enterprise. You had at any given time there were 10, 15 guys over there, doing their drugs. It was just something else.
Well,
Okay.
I've got an indication that all those stories from the 80s are worth their weight in gold right now. And
I'll just watch the tape.
Just had to watch the
Come on.
movie.
all these stories from the 80s are worth their weight in gold. Ms. Dixon, you're one, but there are so many people sitting on those stories, just don't know how to get off of them. They know that it's coming around. Those times are hot now. I'm talking about the 80s. The stories from the 80s are the hottest thing going now. The retrospective,
Right.
In the industry, the film industry, they're going back there. They're going to go pre-pandemic, mask everything, you know. And those stories are worth money. But there's a problem I ran into, is that those families and those relatives, they know those stories are worth some money, but they have no idea how to extract the money.
Right.
And they go the wrong route. They ask for money up front just to even talk to them.
Okay.
And
Let me help you. I'm gonna help you. They don't know the stories. They only seen what was in the house. The people that you know, who know the stories, they never was around the other people. They can only tell your truth.
Right.
But it's like dudes like you who was around me, who was around John Boy. You could tell the other side of the other loop.
Right.
So you know the stories. The other ones only know that LaRue had $100,000 in the house. LaRue had this kind of car. But that's where it stops at.
Right.
Because they never knew what LaRue did on Redondo.
Right.
Never know what LaRue did with Black Dave. And nobody never knew none of this. So here we are again. We come back and we ask, what is the next move? How can you tell a story that you know nothing about? So that's where they lost that. They only could talk about what someone else told them.
Correct. Or what they heard.
Yeah, so here go John Boy. John Boy could talk a story out, and here go Tiffany. He could talk about Whitney Houston. She could talk literally about Whitney Houston. That's why I have her on the stand with all of us power hitters today.
Yes.
Right.
We are power brokers in this game of life. And we got an opportunity to put her on the spot so she could give us a little influx of Whitney Houston.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You know.
Which is good.
And I can't wait to hear.
Because I feel like her legacy hasn't been represented properly, if I could say that.
Correct.
And it's coming from an unprecedented position for me as a creative director of hair and makeup, which hair and makeup usually doesn't get the props that they need. But if you didn't get me to do what you needed me to do for that to look like it looked on that film,
Right.
then you do it, and we see how this film turned out. We're going to see how this work out. You understand?
Right.
In other words, I'm an executive producer of what I do in this game as of hair and makeup and wardrobe and image consulting and all that. So I take it very seriously. So I demand to be respected just like the executive producers of any other thing. So this time around, I am going to be the executive producer of my project that I'm pushing through with the help of my friends, and just being able to tell a better story about her legacy, about the woman, who the woman was. And I think that's what people want to hear and want to see. And I have some beautiful stuff, untouched, beautiful, and I'm ready.
Okay, that's good. So Ira, I know you got something to tell me because I don't have that much time with you.
Okay, just by circumstance, your boy Fela Bob is on the phone with me right now.
Okay, tell Fela I said, what's up, baby? What's up?
And
Get home, baby.
For
Get
you
home.
people in the audience that don't know who as Whitey, for the people that don't know who Fela
Bob was. What's up, kid?
Hey, what's up, Stevie?
Hey, what's up, little Fela? I haven't heard your voice in long pump when we walked the track, baby. Hurry up and get home.
I'm on my way, baby. I'm on my way.
Okay.
Oh, my God. Hey, man, look, God is good, baby. Check
Not
this in.
not sometime, but all the time.
No, all the time. Guess somebody just talked about you yesterday. They said they talked to you. You was with one of their partners, and he said, man, I said, man, is that right? He said, Ham. You know Ham?
Yeah.
Did you just talk to him?
Yeah, that's my little brother.
Man, look, check this in, man.
He at Victorville with you.
Yeah, that's what he told me, man. I
Yeah.
said, yeah. I said, that is so crazy. Oh, man, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, my brother, he been telling me what y'all been doing and shit, so, I'm on my way in, hey, I'm gonna fit right in with y'all.
But-
He ain't even did my book, you know what I mean? I sent him like a third of it. I finished it already. and
That's good.
yeah, you know, it's gonna be on and popping.
Don't worry about it. I got a new lick for you when you get down here, baby. Yeah, I got a new lick for you. Here go your brother. Let me get back with this show, baby. Love you. Be safe and get home.
I love you too, homie.
All right. So,
It made his day.
so John, you know,
Yes, sir.
like I said, this right here is our era.
Yes.
You know, and
It's
no,
our time.
There's no way in the world that we're gonna forfeit it to nobody. And we have all the stories to tell. And yes, John, I'll be honest with you. It's a book called L.A. Chronicles: The Rise and the Fall of the East Side of the Low Bottoms, that's coming out on May 2nd.
Wow. Okay.
You know, we just been holding it back
Yeah,
because so many people talking about it. But like I told you the other day, it don't go in the 80s.
No,
It
correct.
go in the 70s with the heroin and the jewel robbery and the water and the weed. And when you read it, you're going to think that you're in the 80s and the 90s because we have boxes and boxes of cash. And they talk about Wizard, Renee McGowan.
yes.
You know, it's
Kenny.
talk. You know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
talk about those boys, man. They talk
Yeah.
about they talk about Tootie. They talk about Jap. They talk about Cuz. They talk about Bill Jones. They talk about those dudes who really groomed me to be what I am today. And they told me in the past, like, if you take care of your people will take care of you.
That's the truth.
So here I am making my business. Like John told me that this right here is going down. When I first came home, he walked in and said, "Hey, Whitey, come and meet me over here." And I came because I knew I was obligated by law, my law, the law that I live under, because I am a player. There's no doubt about it. And however they want to picture me, they can picture me. But when a player called me and say, "Stop by and let me holler," I'm going to stop by and listen to what you got to say. So again, I thank you for giving me an opportunity just to understand how the industry went. So thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, my brother?
So Tiffany,
Yes.
so here we are. You know, it's like I need you to finish what you're doing.
Yes.
If you haven't started, you need to start it.
Oh, yeah.
You need to put your scripts together. So let them be mad. It's
Yeah.
okay for people to
You right.
have a misunderstanding about themselves.
Exactly.
You know, it's
Exactly.
okay for you to say, I'm playing in the game with chance,
Exactly.
and life is a chance.
All the time, and I'm just willing to take those chances. I just had to get better,
Yeah.
and I'm better, and I'm in a good space, in a good place.
Yeah.
So I'm pushing forward
You
with
know,
that.
That's all to it. As long as you feeling yourself,
Exactly.
and you taking care of yourself, and
Yeah.
you well,
Yeah.
ain't nothing supposed to stop you from going to the top.
You know, that happiness starts right here, though.
Yes.
You know, can't nobody else make me happy. I got to be happy with me, so I had to find that again, and I'm good, so now I'm pushing. So it'll be good, and it's going to be better. It's going to probably supersede my thoughts because I'm not doing it for monetary reasons. I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it, and I was blessed. The guy was just kind of in my hand.
Oh yes,
You know, and like you said, I've been sitting on them. But y'all follow my YouTube page too. Follow my Instagram handles as well. We'll be on here talking about this at Excel at Radio. You know, more interesting stories coming soon. They're doing big things over here. You see what's happening.
You know, this a function of Whitey's Enterprise at its finest. Everybody
I'm
say,
still waiting
Whitey,
for my jacket.
you
No.
still arrogant. Whitey, why you so arrogant? You just came home, you don't have no money, and you on YouTube, you on Instagram, you everywhere, and you talking about just popping the Golden Birds in Vegas and just cracking in Vegas, and you talk all of this stuff, but you don't have no paper. And I look at the world like I don't need no paper. I got a whole lot of talents,
Right.
and with this talent that I have, I can do anything and everything that I want to do because
Right.
I am Whitey. I am the boss of LA for real. You know, it's hard to follow my lead, and a whole lot of people been acting like they know how to follow it, but they've been running through some roadblocks because they telling stories that ain't really for fishing for the 80s. You know, not from the 80s. This Whitey
He was
in the 80s.
Instagram of the 80s.
You know, so
that's all I got to say. He was the brain. I can't even explain what I say. I already said it. I've already said
this John Boy's book, The Rolling 80s. If you want to pick up this book, go to www. Whitey's Enterprise. You know, go to www. Whitey's Enterprise and pick this book up. It's right here. It's cool. It's about the 80s. It's about the rolling 80s. And you get an opportunity of a lifetime
Take you
to
back.
have this book. It'll take you down an avenue that you never traveled before in your life. It'll tell you some stories about John Boy that you will say, wow, he did that. Yes, he did this, and he did that, and he did a whole lot of other things. And he justifying it today by saying that if you want to hear a story, get in line and sit in line and listen good, because you're going to be overwhelmed with the opportunity to hear from a real giant. So I'm going to bring John Boy back on real quick and let him tell me something else about himself before we leave.
Well, what would you like to know, sir?
I want to know, where's your next adventure after this?
Well, once I get this up and running, we go back to me and my brothers used to dance, robot dance.
The Robot Brothers.
Robot Brothers on the Gong Show and Soul Train and Johnny Carson Show. Anyway, I got some producers. They have taken my life story with me and my two brothers and gonna put together an animation called the Robot Brothers Superheroes.
Okay.
So our gloves would be able to bend bars, our glass would be able to see through buildings,
Nice.
and our hats would flatten it and throw it, and our suspenders we could tie people up, as crime fighters. But just like the Jacksons,
He said it's crime
at
fighters.
every episode we'd be able to do a dance step to teach kids how to dance at the same time. But while we dancing, we always watching the crime. But the guy just broke in somebody's car, and so we would go and take off.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're working on that, and then I have another producer working with me about me and my life story with my family. There's 8 of us stayed in like a 1-bedroom apartment. Barely can eat, and we call a little house in South Central. Like Little House on the Prairie.
I understand.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna show you, this is what we went through, and many families, So those are things I'm working on after that,
That's
But
good.
right now we're gonna try to get this rolling 80 out there. Ice-T think he is a 99.9% is gonna get picked up. So we're gonna make it and be able to tell our stories, and everybody be able to eat off this one thing. I'm not trying to eat by myself.
I know that's right.
So
Because
you,
they're going-
That's
yeah.
not
so you back,
Everybody
so
going-
you back really with the crime family of the past with everybody, but we just so
That's
legal
it.
now. But we just legal.
Yeah, absolutely.
We doing it as we supposed to do
Yes.
it.
And it's a blessing to still be here.
Yes,
Absolutely.
you know.
Breathing.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
breathe. Got the Just Breathe
But
Foundation. too.
I got to take a moment to talk about the Green Believers for a second.
Go ahead.
Excuse me. The Green Believers is an organization that deals with social equity and techno assistance. And here we are today talking about all the things that contribute to the war on drugs. The war on drugs was something that happened in the 70s and the 80s. In the 60s, they came back from Vietnam and they put heroin on the streets. And it tore the streets up. Then the 70s, the heroin was still on the streets. Then PCP came to the street. And then in the 80s, cocaine came to the streets. It destroyed the streets. This happens in the world. But the war on drugs is the war on blacks. So every day we talk about this, and we would say that no black man never flew a jet over here and dropped no heroin off. Only some white people have. So again, the war on drugs is about black people in America. If we talk about the football league, it's about black people doing something great for white people to see and be entertained by. But we went back to social equity. Social equity is the war on drugs. And the mayor said that they was going to give the black people in the neighborhood opportunity to have some license. But he had forfeited that right to say that. So again, here we are at DCR asking DCR, when is the time right? So again, we asked DCR to do their job and give my people their license, what they supposed to have. So again, I'm from the Green Believers. I'm Whitey's from Whitey's Enterprise, and I do for the community. It's 100 million people who's in jail. It's 70 million ex-offenders. I am part of the ex-offender movement, and I hope you can pay attention to it. Go to www.Whitey's Enterprise, and you'll see more. Go on my website, and you'll understand that we are in it to win it. And we got a training school to help people out. So again, go back to Whitey's Enterprise. Go back to Green Believers, and you will see what we're doing. Go back to 70 million votes. You will see what we're doing in the community to help out. So again, I'm here with my people. I'm enjoying the day, and I've got a few more minutes, so I'm going to give Tiffany the mic for a few seconds, and she's gonna say hello and let you know how she's gonna leave you out of here.
Well, I kind of like this kind of stuff. So you're definitely gonna have to bring me back because we could talk about so many different things. I know we only have so much time left, but I'm very interested to know when you guys, when you get this production together.
Yes.
I am the creative.
Correct,
I can take care of all those, those looks and those
Correct.
things that you need. The '80s, shoot my shot. But no. What you do? Close mouth.
Yes.
I don't know. I ain't never been like that. So let me see. So yeah, everyone has, their books and everything going on. I don't have any of it ready, but you can pre-order all that you like and go to my website, TiffanyDixon.com, and get everything that you need pre-order from there. But I'm just ready to make some moves. You know what I mean? I'm ready. I have a production, like I said, and everybody is into producing right now, so that's a good thing. It's about to be a big year. 2022 should be really great for us all.
Yes.
I'm sure, because we all had some setbacks. I'm sure last year,
Correct.
but also had some good things happen. I don't want to see things to go back the same. I don't want the same things. I want some different stuff to happen.
Correct.
I don't want it to be like it used to be. It
You're
needs
right.
to be different from what it used to be, and that's the purpose of protests or whatever went down last year, is for us to understand that something needs to change. So I'm not looking for things to be the same. I'm looking for some new stuff, and I'm moving in positivity. So everything that I see, I'm about to grab on hold to it because it's coming.
All right, John Boy, give me the pass and go, baby.
Well, again, I want to thank you for inviting me. I'm happy to be here with Tiffany and you, Whitey. Going back many years and many years with my brother here to my right. We was in jail together in 1989. We were bunkies.
Yeah. Now tell him who was on the lower bunk.
He was in the lower, I was at the top.
Okay.
And then later when he found out who I was, he said, "Man, you can have the low bunk." But yeah, man, but this was nice. Anything I can do, I'm going to continue to extend myself to the community. We have a movement, a forgiveness movement I'm putting together where all the drug dealers come together and ask the community for forgiveness. And at that moment, we could truly be free for our conscience for the things that we've done when we didn't know any better.
Amen to that.
And that's what I would like to
That's
leave
real
with.
talk.
Thank you, John. Ira, the corner is long. The corner is long, and the
Right.
lick is short.
Right.
They're only supposed to take 2 minutes to walk out the lick.
Yeah. If
So-
that.
So give me a closer so I can understand that it's over for the day.
Well, first of all, it was a pleasure being here today, and thank you for inviting me.
Always.
Some very special people on the panel with you, Miss Dixon, John Boy. She's got gold in her mind with that story.
Yes,
You're sitting on a
yes.
gold mine right
Absolutely.
there. And you can help others with
Yes.
that.
And that's the
you know.
intent.
There's nothing wrong with making money and pulling somebody through that same door with
That's
you.
true. That's
And
true.
that's my mission I'm on.
Okay.
Call me. I can help you with your
I got you.
publishing
I got
and
you.
give you some pointers or
Yes.
let you know what I do. But literally, I go to bed at 4 a.m. in the morning every morning.
Gotcha.
I don't miss. If I miss a day doing that, I'm restless.
Gotcha.
Because I write every night until
Okay.
4 o'clock.
Gotcha.
And that's the only way to get it done.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you come up against a little bit of a rough spot where it's hard to get past.
Yeah.
But you just keep looking at that page.
Gotcha.
And then it clears up.
Gotcha.
And then all of a sudden you're going downhill in the wind. So,
Gotcha. That's what's up.
man, like I said, you got my book, Gideon's Hug, just came out last year. It's my first romantic comedy, and I like it. It makes me laugh.
And I love to read.
And
Oh, yeah.
and my
And
next
I
book,
came to
the book I'm working on, of course, is the story of Hugh Jackson. He has literally no idea how I'm going to come at him with this one, but I think he's going to love it, and everybody that knows him is going to appreciate how the story evolves, because it's a true story. It's a story of Los Angeles. It's a story of a town. It's not really a story of a football coach. It's a story of a town and how this town developed this mentality that turned into Hugh Jackson. And it could be any of our story.
All right, I got to get out of here. I thank you guys so
Great.
much.
Thank you for
I've been.
inviting
I
me.
had a joy. I had
Yes,
a blast,
it's wonderful.
and I got some people from the
Thank you.
'80s who I love,
Yes.
respect, and I'm always gonna see them. I'm always
Thank
gonna be on their side. And whatever happens, you guys know one thing: we played the game of life. It's the game of chance, and we came up on top. This is what
right.
we're doing at the Green Believers and Writers Enterprise. You guys come back Wednesday. We got some great guests on Wednesday. We got Sticks, who write for Tyree. We got Facesha Lane that is part of a economy program for ex-felons. So we also got another person, but I can't tell you who he is at this moment. But check in, look on Instagram and Facebook. It'll be a flyer out. Come and check me out every Wednesday at 2:00. This Whitey signing off.
Great.